You arrive at Willowdene Manor on a rain-soaked evening, the gravel drive glistening beneath flickering gas lamps, while thunder mutters like gossip beyond the clouds. Sir Reginald Willowdene, the manor's silver-haired patriarch, claims the dinner is meant to toast his latest charitable foundation. You are Margaret Collins, a recently retired army nurse who has patched more bullet wounds than social gaffes. Yet even you feel the draft of unease that swirls through the mahogany halls. The butler's eyes linger a moment too long on the stopped grandfather clock in the foyer, its hands frozen at 9:23, before he takes your coat. In the dining room, candlelight waltzes across crystal decanters and suspicious smiles. To your left sits Evelyn Hawthorne, a playwright whose eyes measure every twitch like stage directions. Opposite her broods Colonel Avery, his tawny moustache bristling over a scar that splits his cheek. At the head of the table, Sir Reginald raises a glass of claret. To friendship, he proclaims. Yet the toast lands hollow, as though everyone here rehearses a line they never believed. You sip, taste rust, and notice the absent tick of any clock. Silence crouches between courses. Halfway through the pheasant, the manor shudders. Lights quiver. Then, with a sigh almost polite, the electricity dies. Darkness swallows the room. Cutlery clatters. Someone gasps. You feel the brush of a sleeve, then the unmistakable scent of cordite. A shot cracks, startling the night birds roosting outside. Another follows so quickly it sounds like an echo arguing with itself. Chairs scrape, glass shatters, but before you can speak, the generators groan and the chandeliers flare back to life. Two bodies bleed onto brocade. At the foot of the table lies Colonel Avery, crimson pooling under his medals. Across from him, Evelyn Hawthorne slumps sideways, pearl necklace snapped, beads scattered like frozen tears. Panic flares. Sir Reginald pounds the table for order, yet chaos pays him no mind. You kneel beside Evelyn, 2 fingers at her neck, though you can already see the emptiness in her stare. The bullet entered just below the ear, efficient, professional. You cross to Avery. Same caliber, same placement. Double murder executed in less than 10 seconds. The local constable won't arrive for hours thanks to washed-out roads, so you marshal the guests into the drawing room and announce, with the crisp confidence you once used in triage tents, that no one leaves until the truth is uncovered. Did you intend to take charge? Perhaps not, but the room needs a calm voice, and tonight that voice is yours. Sir Reginald consents with a weary nod. Outside, rain drums like impatient fingers. Now the silent grandfather clock becomes your North Star. Its elaborate face is smudged, suggesting someone touched it recently. You wonder, why would a murderer care about a stop clock? You invite everyone to declare where they were when darkness fell. Instantly, the alibis tangle. Lady Agatha Willowdene, Sir Reginald's younger sister, claims she remained seated, yet Ernest Bell, the family solicitor, insists he felt her move past him. Dennis Crowe, a jazz pianist hired for after-dinner entertainment, swears he was lighting a cigarette near the terrace doors, but the smell of tobacco on his lapel is faint, as though applied rather than smoked. Each detail births a red herring, and you must decide which to gut first. You return to the dining room, lantern in hand. Inspecting the floor, you spy a torn scrap of parchment beneath the sideboard. It bears a single sentence in rushed ink. 9:23 ends the charade. The stop clock reads exactly that minute. Is the note a threat or a prophecy? You pocket it, heartbeat drumming in your ears. Back in the drawing room, the guests circle one another like nervous chess pieces. You notice Lady Agatha clutching a necklace, Not pearls, but a locket. Through the glass lid, you glimpse a faded photograph of a young soldier. You ask her quietly whose face it is. She stiffens, mutters, "My fiancé," then pretends interest in the rain-lashed windows. Later, you find her alone, locket open. The soldier is Colonel Avery, decades younger. Motive blooms like night flowers. While everyone argues in the drawing room, you slip into the library. Thunder rolls, giving cover as you examine the grandfather clock's inner workings. Dust blankets the gears except for one fresh fingerprint on the pendulum. You pull it gently. The pendulum sticks, and a hidden panel creaks open to reveal a narrow passage. A passage in an English manor is no surprise, but the smell inside, gunpowder mixed with old paper, tightens your throat. You squeeze through, lantern held high. The tunnel leads to a cramped observatory above the dining room, complete with spy holes bored into the wainscoting. On a small table sit 2 spent shell casings and a pair of opera glasses. Whoever stood here had a clear line of fire to both victims. They didn't need night vision goggles, just patience and a checklist. Beside the casings rests another parchment. 9:25 secures the future. So the killer planned for the clock to strike again, but it never did. Why? A cough behind you freezes your blood. Turning, you find Dennis, the jazz pianist, watching with an expression equal parts guilt and sorrow. He confesses he discovered the passage earlier while searching for a place to smoke. He swears he didn't shoot anyone, yet doesn't deny hearing whispers from within the walls days ago when he rehearsed. You decide to believe him for now and instruct him to keep silent until you call on him. Your thoughts churn. 2 notes reference the grandfather clock. 2 victims died with similar wounds. But who benefits? You return to the drawing room, where Sir Reginald argues with Ernest about the estate. Lady Agatha hovers nearby, listening like a hawk. At the sight of you, Ernest snaps the briefcase shut. You ask Sir Reginald whether the clock holds sentimental value. He hesitates, then tells the room it belonged to his late father. "Father wound that clock every night," he says softly, "until the minute he died at 9:23. Grief cements the room. You seize the moment. "Someone tried to rewrite that moment tonight," you announce. "They wanted the clock to strike again, to mark a second death or perhaps a second life." Murmurs ripple. You reveal the hidden passage and the shell casings, placing them on a side table. You read the notes aloud. Silence. Then Lady Agatha's voice, brittle as frost, cuts through. "It should have been you, Reggie," she whispers, staring at her brother. Ernest lunges to silence her, but you intercept. Lady Agatha's confession spills out. After their father's death, she discovered financial improprieties orchestrated by Sir Reginald and Colonel Avery during wartime contracts. Evelyn learned the truth and planned to expose it through her new play. Lady Agatha, furious over her brother's betrayal of their family honour and the ruination of her fiancé's memory, conspired with Ernest to gather evidence. But Ernest had other plans. He intended to kill Avery and Hawthorne, pin the blame on an unknown intruder, and leverage the scandal to control Sir Reginald's holdings. Ernest's face flushes, yet you are not satisfied. A solicitor may scheme, but who fired the shots? Ernest gestures toward Lady Agatha, yet his hands tremble. You open the briefcase again, this time removing a small revolver wrapped in velvet. 2 chambers are empty. The caliber matches the bullets you retrieved. Ernest crumbles into a chair. Still, one question gnaws. Why meddle with the clock? Ernest admits he planned to reset it to 9:25 after the murders, forging a narrative that the victims were shot later, muddling time of death and thus alibis. But the blackout bewildered him. In panic, he forgot. The clock never struck its second note. Police sirens echo faintly. Roads must have cleared. You exhale. The manor seems to shake off its tension, though rain still lashes the panes. Sir Reginald watches as constables lead Ernest away. Lady Agatha retreats into herself, clutching the locket as if it might still beat. Later, Sir Reginald finds you in the conservatory, offering a glass of brandy. You decline. Nurse Collins, he begins, but you interrupt. You may call me Margaret, but only when you decide to wind that clock again and let the past rest. He nods, eyes glistening. You take your coat from the butler, the same silent guardian as before, and step toward the open door. As you cross the threshold, the grandfather clock starts to tick, once, twice, then settles into a steady rhythm, a quiet heartbeat restored. Dawn tugs at the horizon, painting the manor in reluctant gold. Memorable takeaways, perhaps this. Motives are clocks, they require winding. Left unattended, they stop, leaving silence where answers should be. Yet under the right pressure, the heart inside every gear begins to move, and when it does, justice keeps perfect time.